What if God is not something you believe in, but something being born through you in every moment of awareness? Long before modern teachers spoke of presence and imagination, there was Meister Eckhart, a mystic who revealed the same eternal truth that God is born not in time, but in the depth of the human soul. Today, we explore this mystery, the birth of God in the soul, and how this ancient revelation unites the wisdom of Meister Eckhart, Neville Goddard, and Eckhart Tolle. Let us enter the stillness where the Word becomes flesh within you. Meister Eckhart said, "When the soul becomes empty of all created things, then God must fill her. For nature abhors a vacuum, and where there is space, there God is born." In this single line, Eckhart unveils the whole mystery of consciousness. He tells us that God is not a being outside creation, but the very life that fills every space we make available through silence. The soul, in his language, is not your emotions or your thoughts. It is the ground of awareness itself. The stillness that remains when you stop clinging to form. When the mind is crowded with fear, desire, or self-importance, that ground is covered. The divine cannot be felt there. But when you release everything that is not essential, every thought, every image, every belief, you create a space. And the law of being is simple. That space will be filled by the presence of God. Eckhart is describing a divine law, not a metaphor. He's showing us that the emptiness of the soul is not a lack, it is the womb of creation. The same principle appears in the words of Neville Goddard. You must empty yourself before you can assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Neville taught that imagination is the creative power of God. But imagination only works when the mind becomes still enough to believe from within. That stillness is the same emptiness Meister Eckhart calls Abgeschiedenheit, detachment. It is not suppression, it is surrender. And this same surrender is what Eckhart Tolle calls presence, the dimension of spacious awareness where thought no longer rules. When you rest in presence, you are not trying to be spiritual. You are becoming transparent to the divine life flowing through you. Eckhart the mystic would say, God is born in you at that moment. The birth of God is not a miracle that happened once. It is an eternal process. Every moment of deep awareness is a new incarnation of the divine. So if you seek God, do not look in time, or in the sky, or in the past. Look into the quiet ground of your own being, and you will find the same word that God spoke at the beginning, still speaking, still creating within you. Eckhart is not describing a belief. He is revealing a law of consciousness. When the mind becomes silent, when you let go of thoughts, fears, and desires, you create space within. And in that space, the divine is born again. The birth of God is not a moment in time. It is an eternal happening, a continuous flow of awareness becoming form. Neville Goddard taught that imagination is the creative power of God in action. When you imagine with faith, you give birth to form, just as God gave birth to the world through the Word. Eckhart's birth of God in the soul is the same mystery Neville called the Assumption fulfilled. Both spoke of consciousness giving form to itself. Eckhart Tolle reminds us, the kingdom of heaven is the dimension of stillness. The same stillness that Meister Eckhart called the ground of the soul. In that ground, there is no thought, no time, no becoming, only the pure awareness of being. And in that awareness, God is born, silently, eternally, as the light of your own presence. Each time you return to the stillness of your soul, you open the cradle for the divine child within. God is not an idea to be believed, but a presence to be felt, a birth that happens now. Be still. Let God be born in you.